If there's one Japanese car that must be causing serious worries to European auto executives, it has to be the Acura Legend Coupe. Acura, which is part of Honda, as everyone must know by now, was the first Japanese maker to launch a serious attack on the prestige European models. The Legend Coupe, along with the more sedate Legend sedan and the smaller Integra, formed a three-pronged attack by Honda on upper-crust German and Swedish rivals. The move has been a considerable success for Honda, and already there have been defections among buyers once faithful to the likes of Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Saab and Volvo. The reasons are obvious. Acura has managed not only to duplicate that fabled European quality and feel, but has exceeded it in some cases. Climb into a Legend Coupe and you'll hardly know you're not sitting behind the wheel of a Mercedes or BMW. But quality and feel amount to nothing without impressive mechanical specs. So what does this stylish Acura Coupe have to offer? For a start, there's a powerful and silky smooth 2.7-litre overhead cam V6. Our test car was equipped with a 5-speed manual gearbox that matches anything from Germany as far as I'm concerned. Now this is a front-wheel drive car, but despite a healthy 160 horsepower, there's no tendency for the steering to fight with the engine's power in the form of torque steer. Suspension is fully independent all round and handling is truly outstanding. Now I've had some track time with this car and I can tell you that it'll hang on with the very best road-going coupes when pushed. Disc brakes are fitted all around with an anti-lock system as an option. Styling is fairly conservative, but very attractive nonetheless. It's not what you'd call state-of-the-art, but what prestige Japanese car is when it comes to looks. I'm glad Honda stayed away from pop-up headlights on this one, Ted. As far as I'm concerned, retractable lights top my list of useless features, along with climate control systems and switch-operated power locks. In fact, the Legend Coupe falls short in the lock department like so many others. Instead of a sensible key-operated central locking arrangement, the driver has to reach for a door panel-mounted switch. One might as well reach over and lock the passenger door manually. This is not a particularly economical car, and I don't suppose most buyers in this class will agonize too much over that. Transport Canada says that all-round driving will see you in the 11 litres to the 100 kilometres bracket, but I'd guess that you'd be lucky to see 15 in real-world driving. The real savings come when you write out a check for one of these. A basic 5-speed Legend Coupe costs around $32,500, well under half the price of an equivalent Mercedes or BMW. Our test car did have some options that hiked the price quite a bit. The interior is a real delight with its superb leather seats and very tasteful trim. Headroom is a little restricted for tall drivers, but it's not too bad. Our test coupe just happened to feature my favorite combination of colors, pale beige with a black instrument panel. It's a bright and practical driving environment that can hardly be faulted. Strictly speaking, this car is a 2+2, and if you really must have adults in the back, you should be looking at the big Legend sedan. The driver's seat test car was fitted with a memory system of 3 power seat positions, a rather elaborate way of building an added value. I'm almost reluctant to heap more praise on Honda, Ted, but with a car this delightful, what can I say?
Well, you know, I've already expressed my feelings about this car, both on this show and elsewhere. I think it's the best in class.
And, like you, I'm almost embarrassed to talk about it. It's such a magnificent automobile. As far as I'm concerned, this car stacks up against any other luxury car made, price notwithstanding. For example, I'd rather drive this than the BMW 635i, even if I could afford the BMW. The Legend Coupe has a sense of balance and a lightness of handling that is, as far as I'm concerned, unmatched in the industry. The engine is unbelievably refined. It's extremely powerful, yet as quiet as a mouse. It's one of those units that makes you want to restart it when you're stopped at a traffic light. You can hardly hear it idle. And the transmission, what can I say that isn't a cliche? Knife through butter, smooth as silk. There simply isn't another manual gearbox made that matches it for smoothness and ease of operation. And I'd have to take issue with you about this car's styling, Tony. Honda have managed to successfully blend prestige and personality into the coupe. I'm less than crazy about the Legend sedan, but the coupe is a masterpiece. A couple of gripes, however. Our test car had inferior demisting abilities, a problem I've noticed in other Acuras, incidentally. And road noise up through the floor platform and wheel wells is a little more excessive than it should be. Honda have yet to match BMW and Mercedes in this department. But they certainly caught up to them just about everywhere else.
You know, Tony, if you look in the dictionary under the word excellence, you just might see a picture of this car sitting there.
Well, that's absolutely true. The car works so well. It feels so good. I remember the very first time I got into one of these, and it was in Japan at one of the Honda test tracks. And I sat behind the wheel, and the feel of everything, and the way the motor ran, I thought, this car is just
Well, I have
excellent.
to admit, when the car first came out, the Acura line came out, I was skeptical. I didn't think they'd be able to match the Europeans, and that was the big question. Would they have the same sort of cachet or prestige that goes with it, and I think they've done a bang-up job.
I think they're getting there, and I think that with the Lexus and Infiniti coming up from Toyota and Nissan, Acura really have a bit of a lead on these people. It's going to take some, they're going to have to really work to catch up there.
The only fly in the ointment that I can see here is that Acura went through this ponderous procedure of starting up a whole new dealership chain, which I think was a big mistake on their part, and I think their sales have suffered because of it.
Well, I don't know. I think it might have been a mistake initially, and one of the things I've always said, I've said many times, is that why did Honda need another name like Acura? Because Honda already, to me, has a prestigious image, and obviously they felt otherwise. I think maybe Toyota and Nissan have a low-priced image.
Well, the import restrictions have something to do with it too. They had to bring in a new line of cars, like even with a separate nameplate, so they could bring in more cars without exceeding their quota, which is a big part of it.
Well, the dealerships are very, very well staffed and so forth, and I think they're winning. I mean, it's very hard to start a standalone dealership. I mean, you've got nobody comes down to buy their next car there. Everybody that comes is buying their first car from you. It's very difficult, and then there's a trade-in problem.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to sum up here, what we didn't like about this car, the central locking. Central locking should always be key operated. The demister wasn't very good, and road noise a little bit higher than it should have been. On the plus side, almost everything. Balance of the car, excellent. Interior, very, very well done. And the price, much, much cheaper than those European rivals. If you're in the market for a car like this, you're going to have to look at the Volvo 780, a very good alternative, the Mercedes 300 CE, the BMW 635 CSI, which is about twice as much or even more, and the Saab 900 SPG. Also, there's the Audi 90 Coupe. You might also want to see the Toyota Supra, and very, very expensive too is the Jaguar XJS.